Buddy, it's nice to be with you again on this Thursday afternoon, this sunny, beautiful Thursday afternoon. Um, so last week, I know we did a little bit of work in the chair. Today, we're going to do work. We're going to start seated, and then we're going to do some standing work. And if you would like to have a chair or a wall nearby, you can. We're going to be doing a lot of balance work when we're standing. So again, if you feel like you feel safer with putting your hand on a chair or putting your hand on a wall, by all means, you can do that, especially since you all have your cameras turned off. I can't see you, so I don't know what you're holding on to. I don't care. Just safety never takes a holiday. That's the one thing that we always want to remember, right? Safety first. So with that being said, I am going to ask you all to sit in a comfortable, upright position. Your spine is straight but not stiff. What does that mean? Well, it means that you're upright, but you're not holding yourself with so much tension that you can't maintain the upright position. You're upright enough that your rib cage can move freely and easily. And you're going to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Bring your hands together at your heart center. And notice what your breath feels like this afternoon. As children learning to ride a bicycle, we list and wobble until the enchanted day when we get it and ride steadily and calmly down the sidewalk. Life doesn't give us training wheels when we are seeking stability in our daily existence. But as when we learn to ride a bicycle, once we get the feeling of steadiness, we never lose the possibility of being steady. We must be aware in the moment and effortfully strive for balance so that we can experience well-being both physically and mentally. So in this uneasy time that we're living in, this time of uncertainty, you might feel like your life is a little out of balance, right? Your life might be a lot of out of balance. Maybe you're working more than you have been before. Maybe you are not socializing at all. Maybe you're completely isolated, living alone. We don't have the normal balance that we usually do in our lives. And sometimes that shows up in our physical balance. But conversely, when you begin to work on things physically, you can transition that physical work into your life off of the mat. So as we go through our practice and we do some balance work, try to recognize that what you're trying to do is you're trying to find stability on your mat so that you can find stability off of your mat. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Let your thumbs rest in your chest. And allow your chin to start to drop down toward your chest. Right away, that's giving you some information. What information? I'm not sure. Maybe it's saying my neck is a little stiff. Maybe you slept on too many pillows last night. Maybe you've been hunched over a computer too long. Or maybe it feels fine. And then lift your chin back up. Let your right ear drop down toward your right shoulder. And then bring your head back to center. And then your left ear drops to your left shoulder. You bring your head back to center. Take a nice big breath in. Slowly begin to open your eyes as you follow your hands, raising your hands up over your head. Your gaze is on your thumbs. So we're lifting our head now. We're changing our gaze. When you change your head position, it changes what happens in your inner ear. And your inner ear is responsible for a lot of balance. So I want you to notice, I'll try to point it out, but I want you to notice every time we change our head position. And our inner ear has to work to react to that. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, begin to look forward. Take your right hand, bring it behind you. Your left hand comes onto your thigh. Sit up nice and tall, and then begin to turn your belly, your ribs, your chest. You're turning your head. You're changing the position. You're looking over that right shoulder. Nice big inhale. Arms come back up over your head, face forward. And as you exhale, your left hand comes behind you, right hand onto that thigh. Turn your belly, your ribs, your chest. Turn your head, look over that left shoulder. Come back to center, raise your arms up over your head. And then bend your elbows, placing your fingertips on your shoulders. Take a nice breath in. And as you exhale, twist to the right, big exhale. Inhale, center, exhale, left. You can even add a hop. Inhale, ha. Inhale, ha. Inhale, ha. Inhale, ha. Inhale, ha. Inhale, ha. Inhale, and as you exhale, take your arms, cross them over your chest. Pause for a moment, notice what that deep breathing with an added twisted, maybe it made you a little lightheaded. We're going to lead with our right hand. So have your right hand on top. We're going to extend that right hand out in front of us. I want you to once again look at that thumb like we did when we raised our hands over our head. Look at your thumb and imagine that your thumb and your nose are connected. It's like a fishing wire. And then you're going to turn your head. You're going to start extending your arm out to the side. Your head is changing direction, but tracking and focus is really important for balance. So keep your gaze on that thumb. And just pause, notice if you feel like your arm can keep going, but your head can't. And just stop at the point where you would lose that connection. And then slowly bring your hand back as you follow it with your gaze. Your nose and your thumb are connected. Bend that right hand, place it on your chest, and just for a moment, lift both of your elbows up, up, up. Big breath in, lift your chest, lift your ribs. And then as you exhale, lower your elbows back down. And then that left arm comes out. I'm looking at my thumb, I'm gluing my nose to it like they're attached. And then slowly keeping my gaze on that thumb like I've never seen a thumb before. I am following, noticing my head turning, changing my position. But my tracking helps keep me steady. And then slowly follow it back. Bring both hands over your chest. And then big breath in, sweep your arms up over your head. And as you exhale, switch the cross. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, switch the cross. Inhale, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, hands, head, and heart all lower down. And you stay in your seated forward bend for a few breaths. Take this opportunity to notice your breath in your back ribs, trying to fill them as much as you can with air on that inhale. And as you exhale, notice the contraction. Walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. Left hand comes on top of your right hand. Big breath down that left side of your body. And then walk your hands over to the left side of your mat. Right hand comes on top of your left. Big stretch down that right side of your body. Big breath in. And as you exhale, walk your hands back. Take a nice sip of air. And as you exhale, lift your arms, lift your chest, lift your ribs. You should feel yourself using your core here to lift you up. So one more time, slowly lower yourself down. Drop your head. Nice big breath in. And as you exhale, lift your arms up. Good. And then sweep your hands behind you. fingers pointing forward. Nice big sip of air as you exhale. Lift your belly, your ribs, your chest, look up. So we're just going to stay here. We're focusing now on the changing of our head positioning. So that head is dropped back. Your chest and belly are lifted up. You're in a seated back bend. And then bring yourself back to a neutral spine. Arms come up again. Nice big breath in. And as you exhale, your hands come down. This time you lift yourself up. You land on your hands and knees. Once you come onto those hands and knees, spread your fingers nice and wide. Always remember, engage your belly, right? Once your belly is not engaged, you start to kind of sink down into that back. And that's a lot of times when we get discomfort in our lower back. So keeping your belly engaged gets rid of that little sway back. Extend your right leg out behind you. Your toes are on the floor. That heel is pressing back. And then you're going to lift that right leg up. Extend your left arm. Look to that thumb again. Imagine you've got that boiling cup of tea on your back. How safe do you feel? Look down at the mat. Keep that level of steadiness in your back as you tap your right toes and lift. Tap and lift, tap and lift, hold it. And then with control, bring your hand and bring your knee back to the mat. And you extend your left leg out behind you, toes on the floor, press that heel back. Take a moment to stretch that calf. And then you lift that left leg up, extend your right hand. Look to that right thumb at first. Keep your gaze there. And then look down at the floor. Keep that level of steadiness. Tap your left toes and lift. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Hold it. Hand and knee come back to the mat. While we're on our hands and knees, we're going to do a couple of our chaturanga push-ups just to build some upper body strength. So you're going to cross your ankles. Spread your fingers nice and wide. You want to look at me just for a moment to see what not to do. I don't want you lowering yourself down. I want you to be coming forward. Okay, so your fingers are spread nice and wide. You take that big breath in. And as you exhale, my arms are tucked next to my side. My chest is coming toward my thumbs. My forehead's coming toward the edge of my mat. I'm going to hover and hover and hover, and then lift up. Hips come back to your heels. Inhale, come to all fours. Exhale, slowly lower yourself down. Hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hips to your heels. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hips to your heels. And I think this is the last one. Big breath in. Exhale, hover, hover, hover. Lift yourself up. Bring your hips to your heels. Try to creep your fingers out a little bit so you can create some length in those triceps that we're just working pretty hard. And then come back to your hands and knees. Curl your toes. Start to lift your knees up just a couple of inches, building some strength in your quads. And then slowly straighten your legs. Hips come high, head is heavy. So we've changed the direction of our head again. And then to challenge yourself even a little bit more, you nod your head yes, shake your head no. And then you're going to take your left hand, you're going to try to tap your right shin and bring it back. Right hand taps your left shin and back. Left hand, release. Right hand, release. Again, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Nice big breath in. Come up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, jump your feet to your hands. Start to straighten up a little bit, but I still have a nice bend in my knees. My belly's resting on my thighs. You're sticking your butt up into the air, so you're stretching your hip flexors. your hamstrings right up the very top of your glute. You're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. What are you doing here? You're changing the direction of your head. You're stretching your hamstrings. You're stretching your lower back. All of that's happening while I'm changing the positioning of my screen so you can see me when I stand. And then you're going to begin to slowly straighten your legs. Hands come to your shins, look forward. Changing my gaze, changing my head position. And then drop back down. Now my legs are straighter. Turn your palms upward. Float your arms up over your head. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, sit back down in your imaginary chair. You're in your Uttanasana pose. And then once again, fold over. Bring your hands to your shins, look forward. Exhale, fold. Float your arms back up over your head. Bend your knees, you're back in your chair pose. Try to stay here for a couple of breaths. Bring your hands to your heart center. Shift your weight into your right leg, lift up your left knee. Hold it here. So this is balance, this is also glute work. Inhale, stand. Exhale, sit. Inhale, stand. Exhale, sit. Inhale, stand. Exhale, sit. Left foot comes down. Right away, shift your weight, lift that right knee. Inhale, stand. Exhale, sit. Inhale, exhale, so you can get a little lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Release your foot. Stay nice and low in your chair. Take a big breath in, pressing through your heels as you exhale. Lift yourself up. Open your arms nice and wide and fold forward. And try to stay in this forward bend for a couple of breaths. And see if this time perhaps you can hold on to your big toes. And you're kind of pulling up on those big toes as you're extending your tailbone back behind you, stretching your low back. And then slowly slide your hands to your shins, keeping your back straight. Lift yourself up. And I'm going to turn to the side. I keep trying to figure out how you can see the most of me. Sorry, guys. And I think we're better off here. So we're going to come into our warrior one position. In our warrior one position, your right foot is forward, your left foot is back. Your left toes are turned out just a tiny little bit. You're going to bend that right knee. Your hands are on your hips to make sure that your body's not turned, right? My hips are facing forward. Big bend in that right knee. Sweep your left arm up and then release it back down. Right arm up, release it back down. Both arms come up. As you exhale, relax your shoulders. Look straight ahead. Bend that right knee a little bit more. Tuck your tailbone under so you're stretching your left hip flexor, right? A lot's going on here. And then you're going to turn your gaze upward, shifting your head positioning. You might notice that challenges your balance a little. Look forward. Bring your hands back to your hips. Stay here for a moment. And then raise that right arm back up into the air. And with your left side body, start to turn your left side body, looking over your left shoulder. And then come back to center. Raise that left arm up. And then sweep your hands behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Pause for a moment. Notice the opening in your chest. Big breath in. As you exhale, look up. You're in a standing back bend. You're also changing the direction of your head. You've got to use that whole right foot to stay steady. You've got to use that whole left leg to stay steady. And then look forward. Start to reach forward, forward, forward with your body. Look down to the floor, lift your arms up. Pressing into the floor with both feet, especially that right foot. Lift yourself back up. Keep your arms behind you, and then step that right foot back to meet your left. Release your arms, wiggle them out a little bit. And now you're going to take that left foot, step it forward, that right foot's back, right? So my feet are at least 4 feet apart. And I'm going to bend that left knee. I'm going to tuck my tailbone under, so I'm stretching that right hip flexor. I'm kind of feeling like I'm pulling that mat apart a little bit. And I'm going to raise one arm up and bring it back to my hip. My other arm raises. I bring it back to my hip. And then I bend that left knee a little bit more. And once I feel nice and steady, then both arms come up. I relax my shoulders, and then I change my gaze and I look to those thumbs again. Look forward, sweep your hands behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your belly, ribs, and chest, look up. Shifting your gaze, changing your head positioning. Your inner ears have to readjust. That readjustment might show up in some shakiness in your feet. And then look forward. Start to lean forward, forward, forward. Release your head as you lift your arms. Pressing into that back foot. Lift yourself up. Pause here for a moment, and then step yourself backward. Release your arms, shake your arms out a little bit. You can even swing your hands from side to side. Bringing some gentle turning motions, right? I'm turning my hips, I'm turning my ribs, I'm swinging my arms, I'm kind of hitting myself. This is just some, what you call nice undulating movement, free-flowing movement. And then we slow it down. Come back to a still point. Look at your feet, lift up all 10 toes, spread them nice and wide. Begin to lower them down, one toe at a time. Once all 10 of those toes are on the mat, bring your hands to your heart center. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, come up onto your tippy toes, try to stay here. And then release your heels down. Keeping your feet anchored to the floor, take a nice breath in, and as you exhale, raise your arms over your head, following your hands with your gaze, changing that direction of your head. And then release your hands back to your heart center. Putting that all together, take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, tighten your belly, come up onto your tippy toes, follow your hands with your gaze as your arms raise up over your head. Try to keep looking toward those fingers. This is a lot of work for your feet and your ankles. They're supporting your whole skeleton. Release your heels. Hands come back to your heart center. You're going to turn your feet out to the side. So you're almost in like what would be a plie position if you ever took ballet. I didn't. I'm not sure if this is a plie position. I'm just saying it. Nice big breath in. As you exhale, come up onto those tippy toes. Try to stay here. And then see if you can raise your arms over your head. And then see if you can look up to your hands. Release your hands. Release your heels. Turn your toes forward. Walk your feet back together. Shake your legs out a little bit. And now you're going to shift your weight into that right leg. You're going to come up onto the toes of that left foot. You're going to turn your knee out to the side. So I want you to just for a moment, put your hands on your hips. As you turn your knee out, notice if your hips start to turn. Can you keep your hands locked in? Now, if I were there, I'd probably hold your hips. Sometimes I come around and do that, right? I want you to turn that knee out while you keep your hips facing forward. So the stretch is all focused here in that hip flexor. And once you've got that knee reaching back as far as you can, because there's no more movement here in this area around your psoas, then you can bring your hands to your heart center. You first check and make sure you're not collapsing into that right hip. You keep yourself nice and upright. And then maybe you slide that left foot to your calf. So we're going to stay with your foot at your calf. Even if you can safely bring your foot to your inner thigh, we're not going to, because I'm going to ask you to raise your arms over your head and look up to your hands. So that's going to be challenging your balance. Balance poses are also big strength building poses, right? We're building a lot of strength in that right leg right now. Look forward. Bring your hands back to your heart center. Point that left knee forward. Put your right hand on your hip and then lift up and hold on to that left knee. And see if you can move it out to the side and then move it back. Move it out to the side and move it back. Take your right hand, hold that knee, left hand to your hip. Can you move your knee over to the right and then bring it back? Move your knee over to the right. Can you leave it there and turn your head to the left? So it's almost like you're in a one-legged standing twist. Come back to center. That leg comes back. Release it down. Woo-hoo! Shake your legs out. And then we're going to pause for a moment before we do the other side. You're going to bring your hands to your heart center and close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, you're going to take this moment to re-center yourself. Bring yourself back to a place where you feel balanced. Maybe you have to shake your hips out a little bit. And then pay attention to that breath coming up and down the midline of your body, right? As you pay attention to the breath coming up and down the midline of your body, it helps you to stay focused. And it helps you to feel a little more centered, right? Paying attention to that midline helps us to stay more centered, recognizing that the breath travels up and down a central channel. And then open your eyes, bring your hands back to your heart center. Shift your weight into your left leg, come up onto the toes of your right foot. And then once again, if it helps, you can keep your hands on your hips. Turn your knee out to the side, right? My hip turn coming with it. I'm locking myself in that vise. I'm moving that right knee back. It doesn't go back as far as I thought it would, but if I turn my hip, it would. But now I'm stopping it, and I'm just getting that nice stretch through here. And when I feel steady, I'll bring it up to my calf. Hands come to my heart center. And make sure I'm not collapsing into that left hip. You stay straight. You're going to start to feel the effort in that left leg. Maybe you have to spread those left toes out a little bit more, creating a millimeter more surface space to balance on. And then those arms start to come up over your head, and you turn and look toward your hands. Bring your hands back to your heart center. Point your knee forward. Left hand comes to your hip. Hold on to that right knee. Start to open it out to the side. And then bring it back. Open out to the side. And bring it back. Left hand holds on to the knee. Right hand on your hip. Bring it across your body. And back. Again, this isn't a big move. It's only coming across a little bit. You're bringing that right knee across the left, and then you're going to start to turn your belly, turn your ribs. Maybe your chest turns. You're turning the direction of your head. Notice as soon as you start to turn the direction of your head, how wobbly that left foot might get. And then look forward. Release your knee. Good. Shake your hips out. Sweep your arms up over your head. Nice big breath in. And as you exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, walk or jump yourself to plank. I'm going to lower this down again. Once you come to your plank pose, stay here for a few breaths. And then release your knees, sink your hips back to your heels. Come back up onto all fours. Curl your toes. Lift yourself back to plank. To challenge your balance just a little bit more, lift that right foot up off the floor just a couple of inches. Hold it and release. Lift your left foot up just a little bit. Hold it and release. Again, inhale, right foot. Exhale, release. Inhale, left foot. Exhale, release. Come down onto your knees. And then flop yourself onto your hips. Swing your legs in front of you. So now you're sitting. Your knees are bent. Your butt's anchored to the floor. You roll your shoulders up and back. Your shoulder blades are resting on your back. Nice breath in. And as you exhale, lean back just a little bit. Lift that right leg up. Turn your toes to your face. Press that right foot out. And then bring your knee back in. And then stretch it out. And bring it in. Stretch it out. Bring it in. Release. Lift that left leg, toes to your face. Press it out. Bring it in. See how close I'm trying to bring it to my chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Foot to the floor. Nice big breath in. Exhale, lifts up both feet. We're going to hold on because it helps a little bit to stay steady. And now, inhale, both feet come out. Exhale, both knees come in. Inhale. Exhale, you can try to let go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then release your feet to the floor. Slowly begin to lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Once you come down, take your right knee, bring it in. Take your left knee, bring it in. Put your hands on your kneecaps. Make some nice big circles. And then reverse it, go around the other way. And then release your hands, toes to your face. One more time, like we did when we were seated. It might be a little less challenging in terms of balance to do this in a supine or lying down position. So again, inhale, both feet come out like you're slamming on the brakes. Exhale, bring them in. If you want to challenge yourself a little more, turn your palms upward. Inhale, legs come out. Exhale, knees come in. Inhale out. Exhale in. One more time. Inhale out. Exhale in. Arms out to the side. Knees to the right. Head to the left. Right hand on top of your left thigh. And we're going to stay here for a little while. So don't be afraid of using that left hand, that right hand to guide that left leg down a little bit further. So we're in a spinal twist, a supine or a lying down spinal twist. But we did a lot of standing, especially a lot of standing one-legged work. So you might feel this in your hip more than your spine, which is fine. And then you're going to keep your thighs glued together. You're going to bring those knees back to center. You're going to stretch your legs up into the air. Point your toes to your face. Your heels are pressing to the ceiling. Maybe those legs come in even a little bit more. And then you release them so that they're at a 45-degree angle with your body. Big breath in. And your exhale lifts your head and shoulders. You reach your fingers toward your toes. Maybe your hips come up a little bit. Release your head. Release your shoulders. Arms come back out to the side. Bend your knees. Knees to the left, head to the right, and your left hand rests on top of that right knee. And you guide that right knee down. Inhale back to center. As you exhale, place your feet on the floor. Take your right foot, put it on top of your left thigh. And just for a moment, with that right hand, guide that knee down a little bit. You might notice yourself stretching the outside of that hip. And then you're going to begin to lift up that left knee, bring it in. And then pause here and gently guide that, with that right hand, gently guide that right knee away again a little bit. And then you're going to take both of your hands. You're going to wrap it around that left knee or underneath your left thigh. And you're going to draw that left knee in. So we did those chaturanga push-ups at the beginning. That was helping you to build that upper arm strength. Now's the time to use it to bring that knee a little closer to your chest. This is a big stretch for your right glute. Again, all of that one-legged standing, right? We did this one-legged chair poses. We did a one-leg, we did the tree pose. We did a lot of one-legged stuff. We're doing it for balance, but that's also a lot of strength building. So we're stretching out that glute right now. And then release your foot down. Place both feet on the floor. Windshield wipe your feet back and forth just a little bit. And then you're going to take that left foot, bring it on top of your right thigh, and just take your left hand, guide that knee away a little bit. Lift that right leg up. Continue to guide that knee away. You might feel yourself starting that big stretch. This is almost a little bit of a look what's coming. And then slowly start to bring that right knee in, right? We proceed with caution. And then you wrap your hands around that knee. And if you feel okay, on your next exhale, you can draw that right knee in a little bit more. Release both of your feet. Try to keep your knees bent. Your feet are in the air. You've got that 45-degree angle going. Your toes are still pointing to your face. This time you're going to let your hands rest on your thighs. And you're going to start to push your hands into your thighs as those thighs press back into your hands. That nice isometric contraction. And release your hands, wrap your arms around your legs, gently rock yourself from side to side. Place your feet back on the floor. Arms come to your side. Slide that right leg out in front of you. Slide your left leg out in front of you. Sweep your right arm up over your head. Sweep your left arm up over your head. Try to stay here. Take a big breath in. Stretch your arms back as far as you can. And as you exhale, let your arms fall to your side. Turn your palms upward. And with your palms turned upward, see if you can begin to curl your right toes while you clench your left hand into a fist. Take 2 or 3 breaths here. And release. Clench your right hand into a fist as you curl your left toes. And release. Spread your right toes, spread your left fingers. and release. Spread your left toes, spread your right fingers, and release. Take another big breath in. Hold this breath. And then exhale completely, releasing your fingers, releasing your toes. And with your eyes closed, just should first travel up that right side of your body, feeling your right toes, your foot, your ankles, your shin, your calf, your knee, in front of your thigh, the back of your thigh, your right hip, the right side of your ribs and belly, your right arm from your fingers all the way up to your shoulder, the right side of your neck, the right side of your face and head. And then travel down the left side of your body, the left side of your face and head, the left side of your neck, down that whole left arm from your shoulders all the way down to your fingers. And then feeling that back left rib cage, your left chest, the left side of your belly, your left hip, front and back of your left thigh, your left knee, shins, calves, ankle, foot, and toes. And take a few more breaths, allowing your body in your Shavasana to absorb the benefit of your practice. Allowing your body to absorb the sense of being balanced. Slowly begin to transition through whatever movements your body needs to come back to a comfortable seated position. And try to keep your eyes closed as you bring your hands back to your heart center. Feeling that connection between your breath, your heart, your body. May you mindfully avoid extremes of mental and physical stress, so you may realize the balance of mind and body that brings peace and happiness. Take one more nice big full breath in. And as you exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me.